In this second part of the seminar, we're going to be looking at Spec Builder Live and putting together your initial draft specification, and then we'll go into Microsoft Word and looking at some of the more sophisticated features that you might not use on a daily basis. NatSpec is supplied to you in two forms. There's the CD, which contains Spec Builder Pro, and there's Spec Builder Live, which is an online version of it. The CD version will at some point reasonably soon be withdrawn, because that basically only works with Word 2003, Windows Word 2003. It never worked for the Macintosh, whereas the online version works for all versions and all operating systems. If you're a NatSpec subscriber, you will have access to the online version. Whatever email you gave us on your order form, or what we have on our database as your main email address, will be registered. To get to the Spec Builder Live site, if you go to the NatSpec homepage, which is natspec.com.au, and just on that main page there's a Go to Spec Builder Live link. If you click on that, it will take you to the Spec Builder Live site. If you know your main email address, you can type that in. I'm going to be Philip today. natspec.com.au. If you don't have a password, and you can click on I forgot my password, and that will email one for you. Now just remember, the I forgot my password is an automated thing, so if you haven't got it in your inbox, have a look in your junk email as well. You need to click on I agree to abide by the conditions and click on enter. I'm going to say yes, remember that. Okay, when you log in, it will bring you to the Spec Builder Live homepage. At the very top, it'll tell you what update is uploaded at that point. So the latest update is the April 2011 one. It will tell you what you subscribe to. In this case, we subscribe to 3 different packages. It might say basic or domestic, depending on what you subscribe to. You can see here that it's fairly straightforward. There's only 6 links on the page. I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. The Download Spec Builder Live user guide is pretty straightforward. It's basically a PDF document, and a lot of basically everything that we're going to go through today is in that document, step by step, picture by picture. So I would download that and have a look at that. If you subscribe to Professional or Domestic, there'll be a Download Domestic link. The reason why there's a Download Domestic link is that Domestic is a single document, so you just need to download the Word file. You don't need to use the Live system or the Spec Builder system to choose individual trades and put them together. So you can download your domestic file. There's also resource materials. If I click on that link, okay, you'll see a number of different folders depending on what you subscribe to. A few years ago, October 2007, NatSpec took over a specification system called AusSpec, which is basically a local council system. It covers maintenance specifications, so if councils have to maintain a lot of buildings and parks and that sort of thing, so they can write specs on that. It's also got a fuller civil side than NatSpec does. Under the reference specifications, if you're a services subscriber, mechanical, electrical, hydraulic subscriber, a lot of governments still write what we call 2-part specifications, where the reference component is static and you just issue a schedules document which is project specific. So under the reference specifications, if you do subscribe to those documents, you'll see a reference document for that. Work sections will apply to everybody, and under the work sections folder you'll see various folders. So depending on what you subscribe to, you'll have a little arrow next to the folder which will give you access. Under this work sections folder, say you subscribe to Building Professional, if I open that up, those PDFs that I referred to in the first section that contain all the guidance material and all the yellow highlighting with the update in it, these are those PDFs. So you can download those PDFs and put them on your server so that they're available for you to search. Also in this Building Professional folder or in your package folder, there's a zip file. If using the Spec Builder Live system, every file that you download, you're just downloading that individual file. If you want to download your entire package and you don't want to go through and install the CD that we've sent you, this zip file can be downloaded, and it contains the entire package. All the Word documents and all the PDF documents and everything that we supply you is in that zip file. So it might be a good idea to download that zip document and pop that up on your server so that everyone's got access to it. So that's your work sections folder. under the general folder in the resource materials is basically all the other supporting documents that we supply. I referred to the style guide and defined terms. They're in this folder here. There's the work section matrix. So if you're interested in seeing the full classification system, have a look at the matrix. There's also a tech report specifying ESD, which if you're interested in ESD specifying, I'd really recommend having a look at that. What we've done is broken down the NatSpec specifications so you can see the areas where you might be able to specify ESD. Also, based on this seminar here, there's a writing paper, so a lot of those tips and tricks and how you might go about starting to write a specification. It's a really, really good paper, and a lot of those word processing tips that we'll go through today are in the word processing and production paper. Those PDF that I referred to with all the highlighting in it, if you do want to go through those, that's fine, but you may not want to have to scroll through 10 different files and find every yellow highlighted section. So in this general folder there's a NatSpec update summary. So if you are updating your own individual Office masters or you're in the middle of a spec at the moment, have a look at the update summary. It's like a roadmap to the larger PDF document. So if I just open that document, this update summary, the first page and a half just tells you the changes that we've made in that last update, global changes, any new work sections we've added, any work sections we've removed or reissued or significantly revised. And then towards the bottom here, we've got a table. It's a table, it covers all of NatSpec, so there'll be work sections in there that don't apply to you. But you can say, look, hey, I'm in the middle of a spec at the moment and I am using timber products, finishes and treatment. Oh, okay, there's four or five changes in there, so I've got to either update the work section that I'm working on at the moment or replace it with the new one. That's your call, looking at the work section. This one, for example, is significantly revised, so it may be easier to start over with the new work section rather than trying to update the file that you're currently working on. Okay, so if we go back to that general folder, the next folder here is called Tech Notes and Commentary. NatSpec, when we're doing our update service, which is twice a year, we do an update in April and we do an update in October. The April update covers the Building Code of Australia changes which come into effect on the 1st of May, and the October update picks up a lot of the standards changes that have happened throughout the year. When we do those updates, we actually do quite a lot of research when we're doing the updates, but a lot of that research doesn't necessarily equate to specification text itself. It doesn't actually make it into the spec because we've had to research standards or whatever. But a lot of that research is actually quite informative for you, the specifiers. So what we do is we write tech notes, used to be single pages, 1 or 2 page documents based on various topics. You can see here, there's slip resistance or rainwater harvesting. So a lot of the research that we've done is put into these tech notes. We will refer to these tech notes within the NatSpec work section itself, within the guidance text. So it's just somewhere else to get some further information on that item that you might be specifying. So they're all there for you to download. There's a commentary as well. There's only about 4 or 5 work sections with commentary material. Commentary material is it's not guidance material, but the editor felt that there was you might need further information in order to write that specification. And there's a folder called Word Templates, which contains the Microsoft Word template file, the .dot file, and I'll go into that a bit further on when we look at Microsoft Word. So that's the resource material downloads section on the on Spec Builder Live. So everything, all of your entire subscription material is all here for you to download. With the licensing conditions on Spec Builder Live, your office has a subscription to it. You can have as many users within that office have their own logins as you require. Okay, so we've gone through the resource material. Let's create our initial draft project. So if you go into Create Project,